What's up, peeps? We're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Bentz, and thank you so much for joining us for a very special edition of the AEW Insider. It is the month of October, so I wanted to get one more, October-esque video out, I guess. I'd swear I do nothing but horror films all day, every day if I could, but I gotta work. I'm a single father. I do wrestling. I do movies, what have you. There just isn't enough time. But I do try when I can. This episode does feature, it's going to be a two-part feature. It does feature my top 10 fucked up families in horror films. Doesn't exactly have to be horror, but it's going to be a thriller, something crazy, what have you. Trust me, there's a lot more families that are on this list, like Michael Myers' family or Jason's family, but I already have one on the list like that, and I want to clump it all up. So we'll be doing part 2 next year, throughout the year, what have you. But anyway, let's get to my top 10 picks of very fucked up families in horror film. In this video, we'll have spoilers. Some of these are newer, maybe this year, but you should have seen them already. If not, skip ahead. All right, so number 10 is the Littleness family from 2019's Ready or Not. The Littleness family is a big, rich tycoon family. They made their fortune off of board games and in other games, you know what I mean, when board games weren't so popular. What this movie is about is that a bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. So she got married. She married into one of the wealthiest families in the world. This bitch thinks she's on easy street. She just hit the fortune. Come to find out, this family's fucked up. The reason they got their fucking riches is because they made a deal with Satan or some bullshit like that. So they actually have to kill somebody. So they have her play a game. In the game, like, she could not have got killed. She could have picked something where she couldn't get killed, but of course she picks the card or whatever it is, where it's a game to the death. So she has to survive till morning, and the whole family wants to fucking kill her. You want to talk about a fucked up family? This is definitely one of them. They're really, really new, so that's why I put them so low on the list, but I have a feeling that over time, they're going to become well-known in popularity more than they are now, because they are fucked up. I also added a new feature to this video. It is fun fact or facts about the movies we're talking about. So a fun fact about this movie is that the Littleness family's empire is board games. It was actually based on a now defunct game manufacturers, Milton Bradley Company and the Parker Brothers Company. And during production, 17 versions of Grace's, the main star, her wedding dress were created by the costume designer to show the progress of Grace's night and how her clothes correspond to her attitude. Like, I noticed her dress getting fucked up and dirty, whatever, but her character does change, of course, being put in a situation like that. So now I want to go back and give it a watch and see exactly what they were talking about. So number 10, the Littleness, Ready or Not. Number 9. The Robesons, aka Mommy, Daddy, and Alice from 1991's People Under the Stairs. What this movie is about is when a boy, his name is Fool, breaks into the home of his family's greedy and uncaring landlords, he discovers a disturbing scenario where adult siblings have been held and mutated. Like, these people actually hold them under the stairs, and they keep them in this big, large, creepy house. So the movie definitely is as fucked up as it sounds. This family's crazy. They have all these kids downstairs, but they choose to keep a girl. I think she's a girl, and like they compared to the other kids, they treat her like gold, but she doesn't treat her like gold. They give her scalding hot baths, and they lock her in a room. They got a trained pit bull, S&M gear. They're trying to capture people, fuck them, do whatever. The fucking Robesons are insane, and I would have put them higher on this list, but I used this family in this movie in one of my previous videos, but I didn't want to do that. But anyway, a fun fact of this movie is that Wes Craven was inspired to write this film after reading a real-life news story about burglars breaking into a house. When authorities arrived, the burglars had disappeared, but they discovered locked doors with noises coming from behind them. Children had been locked up inside their rooms by their parents, and they were never allowed to go outside. So that's pretty fucked up. All right, number 8 on this list, The Odettes from the Wrong Turn series. What Wrong Turn 1 is about is that friends on a road trip have car trouble have car trouble, and out of nowhere a motorcycle crashes into their disabled vehicle. Stranded, the friends discover that they're being stalked by a horde of backwoods cannibals, and the woodsmen are hungry and fierce, and they'll be eating well unless Jessie and her pals can outsmart them. So the Odettes are fucked up. If you ever seen The Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what have you, these motherfuckers like this. These are some inbred motherfuckers like Hills Have Eyes. They made a shitload of sequels to Wrong Turn. After pretty much part 2, they were garbage, but they literally are filming right now a total reboot, redoing it, a lot of money behind it, and it's going to have a big release. So I'm hoping the new reboot of Wrong Turn does it justice, because it is a pretty good series with characters. A fun fact about Wrong Turn when they filmed the first one is that Emmanuel Chirqui dislocated her shoulder while performing a fall through the trees. You can actually hear her shoulder pop on the production track in the theatrical sound mix release. Also, a lot of other people were hurt, and most of the cast got poison ivy because they put these chairs by these leaves and they weren't supposed to be, but they were. So that's pretty crazy shit. Number 7 on my list is Mother's Day, 1980. I never got the name of the family, and I watch this every Mother's Day, but there is Ike, Adley, and Mother, of course. What it is about is that 2 brothers kidnap and brutalize 3 women for the pleasure of their demented mother. So it's a fucked up flick, man. This is some 80s horror. It's got the real special effects, not that CGI bullshit. The family's inbred pretty much. They're fucked up. Definitely, like I said, this is a staple that we watch every Mother's Day in this house because it's the only Mother's Day. Well, no, there's more, but this one I really, really like. There was like a 2014 version that is fucking garbage. It doesn't even pale in comparison to 1980s Mother's Day. So definitely check out Ike, Adley, and Mother. It is pretty crazy. And there is another one too, which I won't talk about, another family member, yada yada. But anyway, a really crazy fun fact of this movie is that the house they used to shoot the movie in was abandoned for over 15 years before they started shooting. Prior to filming, a legit dead body was found in the house. It was actually the owner. He was murdered in the house 15 years before, and nobody even seen it until they came to shoot the movie. And also, this movie was directed by famous Troma director Lloyd Kaufman's real brother, Charles Kaufman. So you've probably seen tons of Troma film. You know who Lloyd Kaufman is. His brother's the director also, and this was his movie. Definitely check out Mother's Day. All right, we do have an honorable mention. The honorable mention is 2019's movie Us. Us is amazing. I don't know the last name of the family, but if you watch the movie, you know they are called the Tethered because they're tethered to their real life doppelganger, partners. In the family, they do have Red, Abraham, Umbre, and Pluto. What Us is about is a family's serene beach vacation turns to chaos when their doppelgangers appear and begin to terrorize them. So this family's just going to a beach, they're chilling. Literally one night, the doppelgangers, which means copies, they're clones of themselves, show up at their house. But these clones don't speak very good English. Some of them don't speak English at all. They've got these scissors in their hand that they stab people with, and they're dressed in these red jumpsuits. Come to find out that the government pretty much was cloning people, blah, 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 what have you. And literally, under our fucking earth, there's tons of sewers, abandoned tunnels, all that nobody uses. And supposedly, each one of us have a doppelganger down there that the government pretty threw away because the experiment didn't work. And these people are pissed that they had to be raised down there, and they're coming up to take their lives back, aka our lives. So Us is fucking insane. Fun fact about Us is like the movie The Lost Boys, several key scenes of the movie Us take place on the same Santa Cruz boardwalk. They even reference it in the movie when her mother tells her, you know, they're shooting a movie over there by the carousel. Because the movie does do a flashback at the same time The Lost Boys was being filmed, so they're acting like the movie The Lost Boys was being filmed while you're watching the movie Us, which is very cool. And also, the guy who directed this, his name is Jordan Peele. 2 years before, he made an amazing film named Get Out. And I mean, it's amazing. And you can even, if you watch this movie close enough, you can see the words Get Out carved into the side of the entrance when they go into the Hall of Mirrors. So there's a little bonus for you. All right, we're going to wrap up this video now, but definitely stay tuned for part 2, the top 5, plus another honorable mention. Number 6 is the Jupiter clan, with Papa Jupiter, Pluto, Big Bray, Ruby, and more. It's from The Hills Have Eyes, 1977. What this is about is that it's Wes Craven's cult classic about a cannibalistic mountain folk who are on the trail of estranged vacationers called the Carter family. They're in the Southwest California desert. So it's a very, very fucked up place. Supposedly, the government used to do fucking nuclear experiments out there in the desert, which makes total sense because there's no civilization around. You could blow shit up, spread viruses, nobody knows, blah, blah, blah. Well, these people were fucking affected by it, and they actually were inbreds, and they made more fucked up children. So these guys were all fucked up, retarded cannibals, like with the people on Wrong Turn. It's a crazy, crazy movie and a cult classic. And they did a remake in the early 2000s, actually 2 remakes. Hills Have Eyes and Hills Have Eyes 2, and I'm not a fan of. I didn't like the remakes, actually. I thought they were very boring. But anyway, a fun fact about The Hills Have Eyes is, it's about the 3-minute mark when you're watching a movie, they're showing pictures of the mutant family when they were babies, like how they got affected and how they're growing up, what have you. Come to find out, these are real pictures of the foreign birth effects of kids that were affected by the government's Agent Orange virus that they used in Vietnam. So those pictures are real, but people got fucked up by the Agent Orange virus, which is crazy. All right, peeps, like I said, I do this real quick as a bonus. I love doing this shit. So definitely check out part 1. I got the top 5 fucked up families in horror films, plus an honorable mention. I got a bunch of other videos up too. Top 31 movies to watch in October, top Friday the 13th films, top zombie films, what have you. Definitely show us some love. We do a podcast weekly and a YouTube video. The podcast, Facebook, and YouTube is the AEW Insider, and the Twitter is the AEW Insider 1 as a number 1. So please stay tuned for part 2 of this video of my top 10 fucked up families in horror films. Ciao, peeps.